Well, wow. This is one of those exciting times. There's been a lot of exciting times since becoming the head football coach here, and such an honor and a privilege to be the head football coach. But today marks one of those top moments, as I'm able to stand in front of you or sit in front of you and introduce this Stain Gang 16 class that we've worked. Our staff has worked just diligently for a full year to recruit 25 amazing young men that we'll talk about in just a few minutes. Before we do that, I think I've got to first give some thanks to a lot of people. And first of all, I want to thank our coaches' wives, and their families and their kiddos, because this has been a very stressful time. And since December, when your coach is able to get out on the road, but to know that the wives are so supportive of what we're about, what I'm about, and what Paula and I represent, to allow their husbands to come and do a great job. I can't say enough about our staff and really the heroes behind the scene of the coaches' wives and our coaches' kids. So thank you to them. There is a special place in heaven for coaches' wives, and I do know that. Very dear to my heart. I want to thank our coaches. Again, there's so many of them. Our guys have been just been relentless on the road, no sleep. They'll stop and eat, and I ask them why they're stopped. They need to eat on the run, and grab some peanuts and something to drink and get going. We got ground to cover. But I want to thank our coaches. They've been remarkable to build the relationships that they've built. Our recruiting department, Brooke Hickey. Not only is she planning so much of our success has came out of her office, but she's also going to get married on Friday. So to one of our coaches. So they're trying to recruit and hang on to a top class and plan a wedding. So her and her staff. So Brooke and Mark Smith, Randy Ross, Tam Hollingshead, Katie Barnes, which is a new addition to our recruiting department, our Pony Pride staff that works underneath them, the men and women, our students, both male and female students that come over and volunteer their time to be around our office for mail outs, dealing with recruits. They were here this morning bright and early at 6 o'clock. Some didn't leave till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock last night, preparing for today's special event. Our video department, which I feel is the best in the country, Sam Ogden, Brooks Cockrell, Isaiah Delora, Tim Essen Von Derry, Tim and those guys from our video to our graphics. They take care of a lot, and we couldn't make it without them. And then finally to my assistant, Terry Gardner, which has been tremendous in helping me with my paperwork. And obviously, a special thanks to my wife, Paula, being able to deal with all the recruits as they come to the house and their parents and making sure the house is clean. And so all the stuff that you don't know, you don't see, it's behind the scenes. But it's very important as you talk to these recruits and they want to know what the most important part of their weekend has been. It's some of them said coming over to my house. And so anyway, with that being said, we got 25 members, all from the state of Texas. For the second year in a row, I'm able to stand or sit in front of you and announce in front of you that both signing day classes came from the state of Texas, and part of our products of Texas high school coaches. And very proud of that, extremely proud of that, to the point to where we're the only Division I school in our state that can lay claim to that over the last 2 years, and I'm very proud of that. And because of that, you'll hear a lot of us talk about being Texas tough, and because we're building this thing with our Texas high school kids, coached by the best coaches in the country, our Texas high school coaches, and you'll see a lot of them in our area here, down in the Houston area, and all over this state. So. With that, I can open up for questions, or I can go through each and every one of these. It's kind of totally up to you. So,
take questions.
How different was it
having a, being settled in here and, as opposed to last year?
Well, I think one of the, not necessarily the toughest thing, was trying to create the momentum that we had a year ago, especially coming off of a season that wasn't up to our standard by far. Kind of felt that could have happened, just didn't know what our season was going to entail. The majority of our kids were committed to us before the season ever started. It was important for us to do that, to build that continuity, build that relationship with these guys. So to be able to do and to hang on to these young men, and we're talking about guys with some the majority of them had big time offers, Big 12, SEC, some had ACC offers, and so we were battling all the way up to the final hours on the majority of these guys, but it was fun to get to know them. Not only we got great players, but we've got some incredible parents that are becoming a part of our family as well.
You've got two guys listed as athletes, Ryan Becker and Kamon Freeman. Where do you envision each of them starting out when they get here?
Well, Ryan, from Marble Falls, coached by Matt Green, which was on my staff for quite some time. He, hang on, I got this 2017 recruit here, so I'm told y'all. All right, man, look here. Press conference right here. How about that right there, man? Look here now. I love it, man. You know we signed all Texas kids, don't you?
Yes, sir.
That's right. Texas tough, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, 1 year from today, man. 1 year from today, it's your day. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I told Coach, I said, I'm in a press conference. Don't bust in that door unless there's some players. All right, man, that's two good ones right there. All right, we'll see you guys on the 20th. All right, man, take care. Thank you, Coach.
Hey, that's how important you guys are, man. He in a press conference.
As long as I bring players in, we'll continue to have press conferences. All right? If we can't get players in here, then you'll be talking to new coaches. So, but anyways, back to Ryan Becker. Ryan, a phenomenal athlete, man. He played left tackle for these guys, played defensive end. And one of the things that was so impressive about Ryan is his ability to run. He's a finisher. When you see him, I mean, he gets his hands on you. He's a finisher. We're going to start Ryan out at a tight end because of just we don't have that position. It wasn't here before I got here, and so we were very tight end deficient. So Ryan will start as a tight end for us. Very well could grow into a left tackle before it's over with. Could stay at tight end. Who knows? The kid could play defensive end for us. So, excited about him, but in the other one,
Kamon.
Yeah, Kamon is a young man from Liberty Island. Coach Wells and those guys, phenomenal program up there, holy cow, up there in Northeast Texas. Had an opportunity to it was probably one of the worst weather days we had in the month of January, and I was on a private plane bouncing our way to Liberty Island, and we landed, and I was thankful to goodness to have both feet on the ground. But we got over there to him and said, man, just hold on. You never know what's going to happen here. At the time, our numbers were full. But this is a young man that has won a lot of ball games playing quarterback. He'll come in as a quarterback. But, you know what? If this kid here could wind up being a safety. It could be a running back. It's really, he can stay a quarterback. I mean, he's phenomenal. I mean, he's one of the, and I got that number right here, but I mean, he's a young man that I was just looking at it. Let me find it. I mean, he was one of the top athletes in the country, and a guy that's well coached, well respected. But yeah, here you go. Named one of Texas Best 2016 by Dave Campbell. He accounted for over 5,000 yards of total offense as a senior, 29 touchdowns with only 6 interceptions. But he was the 2015 East Texas Offensive MVP. So, and I think we all know what kind of talent's out in East Texas. Got a few other guys I definitely want to talk about. Michael Badajo. I'll go through these guys. Michael Badajo, coached right here in our own backyard, coached by Coach James Brown. Claude Mathis and Buddy White recruited this guy, and this is a young man that highly recruited guy by some national schools that rated the number 64 linebacker in the nation by ESPN, and named one of Texas' best 2016 linebackers by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. And so this is a guy that, matter of fact, I couldn't leave his house without having to dance with his mom. His mom wanted to make sure I could dance before she would actually agree to let me sign him to come to SMU. So she went and found the radio, plugged it in, and I literally had to dance out there. So, and I was more than happy to dance to get Michael Badajoe here. But a guy that's going to come in, you're going to see him make a difference this year. Got great speed, violent, and another young man that was true to his word, committed to us before the season started. Harrison Barton, offensive lineman out of Houston Christian, coached by Max Bowman. He's was a finalist for the Houston Touchdown Club, lineman of the year, and so a guy, top 50 Houston prospect, and played both sides of the ball as a senior. And this is a young man that's incredibly smart. He's going to enter into SMU and be highly regarded as into our university, our business school. He wants to major in business, but excited about him and what he has to offer. This guy's going to give us some depth. We talked a little bit about Ryan Becker already. Excited about Ryan. Brandon Benson, state champion Brandon Benson. I need to add, these guys know how to win. Very important to me to get guys that have come out of great programs, coached by Willie Williams down in La Vega. Just won a state championship. He was he was recruited by Claude Mathis and Justin Stepp. He was another one. Hang on, hang on. That's what it was. It was hang on, and great family. Had an opportunity to go down there, and his mom made an unbelievable hamburger for me that might be the best hamburger I've eaten in my life. And that unbelievable family. And it was a hang on to your tail with him because he was highly recruited and all the way up to the final hour. So this is a young man that'll come in at wide receiver, 6'1", 6'2", 190. He'll come in and he'll contribute. He'll contribute right off. Blake Carlisle, another one from out of the Houston area down in Dickinson. Big linebacker, tall, rangy, 6'3", 180. Play our star position out on the edge. Great pass rusher, and coached by John Snelson out of Dickinson, and Archie McDaniel recruited him, and was a Houston Chronicle top 100, and a guy that'll also come in and contribute. His speed is what's remarkable, and that's one thing I've said since I got here. You either have speed or you're chasing it, and we chased a lot of speed this year, and so we had to go recruit fast guys, and we feel like we got that. Jordan Carmouche. Jordan is interesting. Jordan actually, we got on Jordan early a year ago, and again, coming out of a phenomenal program. Coach Martin down in Manville, Coach McDaniel was a recruiting coach there, and phenomenal guy. Coming out of that program, we got on him early, one of the early offers, and then it just went silent. He committed to another school, an SEC school. And about the 1st of December, we get a phone call, and it's just gauging an interest. Would we have an interest in him? And obviously we definitely said so, that we would. He asked us, could he have an opportunity to play some running back? And I said, yeah, you could carry Peruna out if you wanted to. Whatever you want to do, we'll give you an opportunity to play some running back here. So he's coming in as a running back and have a great opportunity to play running back for us. And we know his skill set at linebacker, but this guy is 6'1", 6'6", 220, 215, 220, and great family. And so excited about him. We do not have that caliber of a back, that big back. So he'll be an opportunity to step in and help us out. We got two guys from Cedar Hill, Michael Clark and Eric Sutton, coming right over here playing for Joey McGuire, and a great friend of mine, recruited by Claude Mathis and Van Malone. And both of these young men, obviously we know the program they play under. They've won a lot of ball games, a whole lot of ball games, and they've won a lot of rings, and we're going to expect the same thing when they get here. Both these young men have incredible personalities and going to bring a lot of pizzazz to this football team that we need. a lot of swag, a lot of punch that we need, and I'm excited about these guys. Christian Davis out of Waco, Midway High School, same high school Ben Hicks is at, or was at, coached by Terry Gamble. Obviously we know Terry's at Allen now, and excited for him. And recruited by Claude Mathis, Jess Lepp, and again, another guy that we need some help in the secondary. This is a heavy defensive signing class, as you'll count and you'll know, and that was an area we had to address. Miles Duke. Miles played quarterback. Played quarterback in high school. He was the number 41 dual threat quarterback in the nation. Phenomenal athlete, extremely intelligent young man, and played some wide receiver as well. Matter of fact, he was an all-district wide receiver. And so this guy's we're gonna move him to a safety, to a linebacker position for us. That's going to give us some speed. Played for Brett Boyd at Goose Creek, and Coach McDaniel recruited him. The guy averaged 20 points playing basketball a game. So I know Coach Brown was over here a little bit early, and he kind of looked at that, and he wanted to know could he come help him out a little bit. So we don't have a problem with that at all. But so we're excited about Miles. Miles will be on the defensive side of the ball, playing linebacker, giving us a lot of speed. Big kid, 6'1", 185. We've talked about Kamon Freeman from Liberty Ilu. Excited about him, what he has. Demrick Gary, another area that we had to address was our D-line. We did not have the depth. We could play with teams for about a half, maybe a little bit more, and we just wear out. So Demrick Gary from right here at Dallas Kimball High School, Coach Kofer and Coach Nelson, recruited by Buddy White. 6'3", 245, and you're talking about a guy that walks in a room and just lights the room up. He's got an incredible personality. He was a defensive MVP, rated the number 75 defensive end in the country. And so excited about Demrick. Demrick's a guy that committed this summer to us, and has been a pleasure to be around. And one of the things that really interests me the most about Demrick was he said, Coach, I want to go to a place that I can make a difference. And each one of these young men has a similar story, but boy, Demrick kind of led that charge for us. Another D lineman that we're excited about from right around the corner here, Arlington Heights, coached by Phil Young. I've known Phil for a long time, and I actually coached against him when he was at Cleburne. But Patrick Jones. Patrick's, I call him the mayor because he's the mayor of Arlington Heights High School. Everybody knows him. And he's the manager of the basketball team. And matter of fact, I talked to the basketball coach when we were going in recruiting him, with Keith Gunn being the recruiting coach. And he said, Coach, he said, you know, he wants to be a coach. And he said, we were getting beat one night in basketball at halftime. And he said, I was so mad at him, I let Patrick do the halftime speech. And he said, lo and behold, we came back and won the game. So Patrick's that type of guy that has a lot of energy, 6'3", 270. Explosive. When you see his film, it makes you say, wow, and that's kind of what you're after. So excited about Patrick, a guy that'll come in here and be able to make a difference. Ken McLaren. Ken is a guy that another one that we, as Patrick and Demrick, we have to hold on right here to the final hour. 6'2", D lineman, 6'2", 300, from Denton Ryan, played for Coach Hennigan, and obviously we know what kind of program they have up there. Excited about his winning attitude. The guy's he goes to school. He's an incredible student, and then he obviously performs on the football field, the number 12 defensive tackle in the area or in the state, and a guy that's going to come in and give us some size up front. And so excited about him. Coach Lepp and Coach Buddy White both were on the recruiting on him, and to see his family and to know what kind of difference he's going to make is incredible. Mikhail Onu, let me back up, state champion Mikhail Onu, from George Ranch High School, coached by Ricky Tullis. And Van Malone recruits that school. This guy here is sure enough a player. 5'11", 185, 9 interceptions, 40-plus tackles, 3 forced fumbles. He was the Defensive Player of the Year award finalist for the Houston Touchdown Club. He was one of the top 100 in the Houston area. And so to be able to get a guy of this caliber to come up here and when you bring his family up, you understand why he's so successful when you just talk to the parents. But man, I'm excited about him. He'll play safety for us. He'll bring those winning ways from that great program that Coach Tullis has done at George Ranch. Corey Rao. Corey is an interesting. I'll tell you about Corey. Corey's from Cinco Ranch, coached by Don Clayton. Buddy White and Joe Craddock both jumped in on with Corey. We were his first offer, and it was it got pretty tight there at the end. But Corey, would being a man of his word, gave us his word back before the season and held true. 6'4", 250, tight end, something we don't have. A guy that can put his hand in the ground, set the edge, and then be able to back up off the line of scrimmage in motion and carry a safety or carry a linebacker vertical. Excited about him. He got pretty heated right out of late, and he was true to his word. But again, when you went to have dinner with his family and have them come up, phenomenal. I actually got a thank you card from his parents for offering and believing in their son, and that's a first. And I truly appreciate that. It tells you a lot about our guys that we have. Colin Rock. Colin played in the state championship game last year as a junior at quarterback. Named one of the Texas best 2016 athletes. When you see his video, you're going to watch him all at quarterback. The guy could play quarterback for us. We expect him to play safety. He could probably play anything but left tackle for us. He's that type of player. This is going to be the guy that everybody's going to kind of looks at and go, okay, where does he fit in? He fits in anywhere he wants to fit in. When you start talking to him and watch the way he plays, I'm extremely excited about Colin Rock. He's a winner, and played for Gene Johnson at Cy Ranch, and Buddy White was a recruiting coach. Our first commitment a year ago was Josh Shellmeyer, the #1 commitment. He was a first-team All-State, second-team All-Greater Houston area. Was a finalist for Offensive Player of the Year, the Houston Touchdown Club. Josh Shellmeyer, 6'2", 180. He's coached by Coach Robbins at Lutheran South, Buddy White, Justin Stepp, and this guy can run a hole in the wind. I'm telling you, he's fast. And if I was as fast as him, I'd never own a car. I'd run everywhere I ever went. He can roll. And again, that's something that we had to get at wide receiver. Gives us the height that we were looking for. Kadarius Smith, KD, as he goes by, from right here in our own backyard at Plano High School, coached by Coach McCullough, Coach Lepp, and Coach Fry were recruiting coach. Huge upside. This young man hadn't been playing football that long, about 3 years, and to see what he's done, and to see the teams that we had to hold off and battle against to hang on to him. This guy here is our biggest thing is I don't how much food we're going to have to feed this young man, because he's a big fella, and we're excited about him and what he's going to bring to our offensive line. 6'4", 6'3 and a half, 275, 280, and I think that's being really generous right there for him. And I know he's probably smiling at me on that one. But Noah Spears from Irvin Nimitz, Coach Rogers at Nimitz, obviously with his coach, rated the #4 inside linebacker in the state of Texas. Big, fast, violent. Coach McDaniel brought him, and we've been on Noah for a long, long time, and it took us to get in the tempo copter and get over there to his school for him to understand just how serious we are about him. He's committed to us, and again had many offers, but wanted to stay close to home and be a part of a turnaround, and that was very special to me. Jacob Tador, a big offensive lineman from right up the street here in Frisco Wakeland. Coach Secord, a legend in this state. Has coached many good ones. Coach Lepp and Coach Fry also were the recruiting coach with him, and named one of the Texas best offensive linemen in our state. 6'4", 260. Great family. This guy will have an opportunity to come in and push somebody this year. He's going to have an opportunity, number 59 guard in the country, and to be able to land a guy of that caliber. And he's an incredible student. Jordan Ward, a linebacker from Kempner High School down out of Sugar Land in Houston. Jordan is 6'3", 195. Coach Andrus at Kempner, recruited by Coach Malone. This is another guy that we had to get some size and some guys that can run at that linebacker position, and he definitely adds some depth to that. offensive lineman Braxton Webb from San Angelo Central. Coach Davis and I go way back when his days at Alice, and I was at Lake Travis. But I know he's coached extremely well. Excited about his future. Coach Lepp and Coach Fry are been the recruiting coach. Rated one of the top linemen in the state. Big guy that's man. This guy likes to hunt and he likes to fish, and I'm excited about what he's going to bring to the hilltop. Just kind of a rugged, tough mentality that we need in that offensive line. And then, you know, we had a couple more that I want to address. Alfonso Thomas, which is on campus right now, running back from Van High School, played for Coach Moffitt at Van, and Coach Stepp and Coach Mathis were the lead recruiters there. And 6 foot, 195. Again, a guy that was committed to another school and wanted to stay closer to home, and wanted to be a part of a turnaround. And this guy ran for 1,500 yards, 21 touchdowns in 11 games. And excited about what Alfonso is doing. He's extremely strong, and he's got great ball skills. But he's already on campus and already going in off season, our first quarter phase. And then we signed one junior college signee from Trinity Valley. Coach Smiley there, I've known Coach for a while, but he played for Denton Ryan, played for Coach Florence, and a good buddy of mine that's, he and I go way back, and this is a guy, again, addressing some issues that we have to have up front, 6'1", 300. That's going to play defensive line for us, and so, again, he was a guy that we brought in and was kind of the last. We didn't know if we were going to get him, so it was kind of the last hour to get this guy and to address some needs that we had to have. So that's our signing class. I don't think I missed anybody. Brad, do you know? Did I miss anybody? There should be 25 that I talked about, and I'm extremely excited about these guys. I think they're going to bring something that we haven't had here in a while, and that's a true commitment to being with us for one solid year and wanting to help us turn this program around. The unique thing about this class, what we call our Stang Gang 16, obviously they're all being from the state of Texas. I'm very proud of that, as I mentioned earlier, being Texas tough. But this group, very close together. We signed some incredible classes at where I've been in the past, and for whatever reason, this class had gotten so close through social media. That has been one of the positives of social media. They've been able to get very close together to where they really monitored and held each other accountable. And that's something I felt like that we did not have this year as a team. I didn't think we were as close as we needed to be. And, you know, and so they're going to bring that dimension to our program that I'm excited about. And as we all know, great championship teams are won because they care about each other. And I truly believe this Stang Gang 16 cares about each other. So with that, any questions? I know I said a lot, talked a lot, but I'm excited. We've driven a lot of miles. We've stayed up really late. We've eaten some really bad food on the road, and sometimes we eat good food, but it's stay on the run, and that's a good thing. And I don't mean bad food. I mean good food, but it's bad for you. You know what I'm talking about. So, but all the parents, when you go on these home visits, man, they're cooking, and there's some great meals that they've prepared for us, and that's been unique and that's been fun, and I appreciate our parents. So, anybody, questions?
Well, when you're out on the road recruiting, how many hours a day are you guys working, and you know, and what kind of a breakneck pace is that?
You know, our guys try to get going. You know, that you try to get them up. You know, they try to get them a workout in the morning. Some do, some don't. They're usually on the road by 7, and usually we're somehow in a home till 10 o'clock at night. Could be as late as 11 o'clock at night. We usually try to communicate once a day at some point in time. But you know, guys, it's that everybody knows January recruiting is so much different than May recruiting. May recruiting is more of a slower pace. January it's a whole nother stress level, because you got guys that are committed, And while I want to commend these guys for being committed to us, you know, the word commitment is a, you know, that's tough for some. Some don't understand what the word commitment is. And I hope for that reason that you know, I hope I'm in favor of going to an early signing day, and to where we can stop some of this. But you know, it is what it is, and we're excited to be done with it.
Do you think that your dancing was really going to be, was that really the determining factor?
No, I don't know, but she wasn't gonna let me out of that house until I danced. So I was more than happy to dance for her.
Is there video of that
With
to
it.
share?
It's on. It's out there. It's out there somewhere. Michael released it, I believe.
I was interviewing Katie earlier today, and you could tell he really did his homework when it came to you, the program, etc. In terms of this class and what it takes in between the ears, how do you kind of gauge that and figure out this guy knows how to pick up a more complicated offense, defense, whatever?
Well, number one, he played in a great program. I mean, a very tradition-rich program in Plano. You know, a guy that wants to stay close to home, that wants to turn a program around, and it's early. I mean, when you look at it as a coach, you got to see how much what's the upside? Is he at 90%? Is he at 60%? What is he? How much better is he going to get? And to watch him and know that he hasn't been playing football for all that long, and he's been well coached, and to watch him move. I mean, he's a big guy, and he's got small ankles, and man, you like that in a guy because you know that he can move.
How important was it to change the culture of this program, to bring in some guys who have won state championships and made deep playoff runs?
Well, you know, we got guys on our team, our current team, that have won state championships, but you know, as we change this culture, to bring in a group of guys that we've had one calendar year to recruit. You know, we brought in 22 really good ones last year, really good ones that we're excited about, that Stain Gang 15 class. But we had a short period of time to develop that relationship. So for these guys to see us for one calendar year, to see what our culture's about, to live through this season with us, it's amazing the number of guys that I read out to you guys that would be the first to send us messages on social media telling us to keep our head up, that good things are on the way, Coach, after a bad game. And so that tells you a lot about these young men, because you know, some guys are, when things start going a little bit south on you, they're the first to leave you, and not these guys. These guys here see something, and they want to be a part of something special. And you know, my social media is filled my direct message with these guys saying, Coach, we're coming, hang on, we're excited, hang on, and so they're going to come in and they're going to have to compete. Now, they're not coming in and it's automatically it's theirs and everybody else is out the door. We got some good guys that are working extremely hard right now that this right here is going to help motivate them, because it's called competition. And that's what excites me too. So there's going to be great, healthy competition on this football team.
You've got at least 3 guys in this class, Badgerow, Christian Davis, and Noah Spears, who played in high school with guys that you recruited last year. How much did you lean on the guys on your team to recruit their former teammates? You know,
our best recruiting tool, people ask me this all the time, say, Coach, what's your best recruiting tool? I say, it's our players. Ask our players. They're not going to lie to you. They're going to tell you what it's about. You know, what is the culture about? Is this when we just come over, is this coach just giving his recruiting talk, or are we truly living our everyday life just as coach is saying? And so when you got that, and you can go back into these high schools and recruit out of the same schools you did a year ago, that says a lot about our players. And so, yeah, our guys, when they would come over, they did a great job with them, and that's pretty special to me.
You talked about how it's a defense-heavy class, although you also picked up 4 offensive linemen. How did you and your staff balance the need to fill specific roles or specific holes in the roster versus getting the 25 best players you could find?
And that's a fine balance. And you know, you have to look at your numbers every year, and knowing where we were coming into this year, we were over in our numbers for offense, under in defense, and well under in defense. And what you try to do is you try to go 41-41, and then you take your other 3 for special teams. and we were well under that. I don't know the exact number, but I want to say we were well off of our defensive numbers. So we knew this was going to be an inflated defensive year. This next year is going to be a little bit the same. But you got to try to balance, and by all means, you would never pass up a guy that's a sure enough program changer just because he wasn't on the right side of the ball. You know, for what you were needing, you would definitely go after that program changer, and that's where the head coaching decisions got to come in. So.
Does getting some of these guys committed earlier in the process make that balance a little harder later in the year, especially when you have kids you might have to turn away, or you have to go through a season and think, maybe we need this position more than we thought we did before?
No. You know, there's absolutely zero buyer's remorse. When we were so happy about our guys here, and we did. We had to, if I had 5 more spots, I could have 5 spots filled before I walked out the door right now. There's people who want to come to SMU, contrary to what the general public think. Well, we're just going and getting guys that. No, we have a lot to sell here. Our university has so much to sell. What we've got to sell on this football field, our culture that we're changing, and the ability, because we're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to turn this program around. I'm fully committed to that, and so these guys being committed to us before the season says a lot about them, and holding true to their word.
When you look at a guy like Miles Duke and envision moving him to another position, or a guy like Kamon Freeman, who's played quarterback for only 2 years, how much harder is it to project what they'll become?
It is. You know, now Miles is a little bit different because Miles played in more of an option offense, and so you're able to see him run and take on the hits. He played wide receiver. You're able to watch him block. So that's that was a little bit easier. You could see, you know, what a great athlete he is, and he'll be able to be a great safety for us, a backer. And Kamon, on the other hand, is you're able to watch him evade the rush, extend plays with his feet, throws a great ball now. So nobody's saying he's not going to be that quarterback, but he's got the potential and the talent and the skill set to really play anywhere.
As a non-Power 5 program, a lot of the times programs like SMU's, like Houston's, get hit with a lot of decommitments after seasons, after high school film comes out. How much did you rely on the players that were committed to fight that for you guys and, like you said, hold them accountable?
Well, I think their relationship with each other held a lot. That was, and they would probably be the first to tell you that. They held each other accountable. When they would hear something, they would address it immediately. I think that really helped. I think also just the fact of coming and seeing that this is who we are, and you know, we're all in this together. I think knowing the success of where we came from, what the success that Clemson's had, and what we helped establish there, and be a part of that program for the last 4 years, 5 years, 4 seasons, and to know that, you know, the handprint that we're putting, that we work there with Coach Sweeney and is put in place here, and to see the success that's been there and what we're doing here. So I think that helped hold these guys together. It doesn't mean that there were guys thinking, well, should I or shouldn't I? That's part of being, you know, human. And but these guys were true to their word, and again, I think that excites me to know that these guys were held on. Anyone else?
Are you going to start a Food Network show to let us know where we should and shouldn't eat?
No, you need to eat there. Just make sure that you're working out while you're eating. So I tried to make sure I didn't gain too much weight during the recruiting process, but you can't help but gain a little bit. But again, thank you, and it's a pleasure, and I look forward to watching these young men grow. As you look at the recruiting class, it's really hard to gauge. I've always thought this until 2 to 3 years down the road. We'll know how good this class really is. And so we've got high expectations for them.